All right. What holiday's coming up? We all know. It's Halloween. Halloween used to be one of my favorite holidays. I think because down deep, I love to dress up. I love to be in character, kind of be somebody else. Maybe I should have gone into theater. I don't know. But there is a way to set yourself up for success because you are made for something different and you have joined this group to not only reset your mindset, but to build life skills, right? And it's funny because I think about holidays and we kind of think of how to survive the holidays. Well, I don't want to just survive the holidays. I want to thrive in the holidays, and I'm sure you do too. So I'm going to give you 5 quick tips on how to stay healthy for Halloween. You guys ready? All right. Number 1, dun dun dun, don't be spooked. What does that mean, don't be spooked? If I remember correctly, Halloween comes on October 31st every single year. So we know it's coming, we can plan for it, and mentally we can get prepared for that. Y'all, I don't know about you, but I saw decorations for Halloween and candy start to come out all around August of this year. It was like super early and then closely followed with Christmas decorations. So don't be spooked. Just because it's in the store, you do not have to buy anything in advance. And if you already have Halloween candy in your home, we're going to get to that. All right. Number 2, let me get my drawing. Don't laugh at my artwork. But plan to be a bunny. Yes, you can dress up like a bunny. I think that's a great idea. But I want you to think about your plan, your intentionality around the to be mindset. And in to be, we learn a lot about what we want to be, right? Where we want to go. And on November 1st, we should already be thinking about where we want to be on November 1st. So where do you want to be on November 1st? Because chances are you don't want to be stuck. You don't want to be remorseful or feeling just about what you ate the day before. Always be thinking of that next goal, okay? That's how we make really solid, wise decisions. If we're thinking about that next 2-pound weight loss, if we're thinking about that next event that we want to do, a 5K we want to run with our kids, that next milestone, we can be thinking like a bunny, all right? So if you get invited to a party, I know our neighborhood does a bunch of Halloween stuff and it's super social. Your neighborhood probably is as well. Even if you don't have kids, chances are you're getting together with other human beings. And I would encourage you to remember the 2B bunny principles: water first and veggies most. Now, how might that look? You can draw a theme with what you're doing. So sure, you can grab your water bottle and have just water as you go around trick-or-treating. You could also do something fun, like do a cold brewed passion fruit tea, leave it unsweetened, it looks like vampire blood. Or you could take, if you're doing some snack trays, you could take cauliflower, slice it like steaks, and then cut it out like a ghost. You could do jicama the same way. You could do all kinds of fun stuff with carrot sticks, kind of like in little mini pumpkins. Do that with oranges. That's not a veggie, but you get the drift. There's a variety of ways. I actually remember seeing, I feel like it was on Pinterest, but it floated around Facebook last year. It's like a crudité that looks like a skeleton, which is such a fun way to bring your veggies most to the party, right? So you can do a lot of that. Be on theme, but have fun with it. All right, number 3. What do our kids say when they ring the doorbell at a neighbor's house? They say, trick or treat, right? So I want you to think of that, but I want you to think of the words, pick your treat, okay? We have already learned, unless you just started today, but we have already learned in the to be mindset to treat, not cheat, and that treats are okay. We want to be in the right mindset. We want to have that joy and feel the enjoyment of a treat. But I want you to learn to pick your treat responsibly. And here's what that looks like. Prioritize what you love. I was talking with somebody else in the group about picking those things that we absolutely adore. And I was giving her the example of a cookout. And when you go to a buffet of food, you might see things like cheesecake or brownies or, all the different things, candied apples. You might see all those things. But if your one thing that you love is candy corn, that's your priority. You know what you love. So, hey, Liza, you need to pick your treat, okay? Figure out what that is. And then we want to do what we've learned in To Be Mindset is to make it portion reasonable. Most things come in fun size packages. I know my treat is always something in the Reese's peanut butter line. It's total junky yuck, but I love it. But they come in individual containers. If candy corn was your jam, get the little bags of candy corn when you're at a party or you're picking through your kid's bowl. Pick out one individually wrapped portion, okay? So that's your treat. The push-off method that Alana goes through, if you haven't seen this, I think this is in the travel video, but the point being, you're anticipating, right? We're going through the month of October. You don't have to eat candy corn on October 1st and 2nd and 3rd and 5th and 10th and then all the way to Halloween. We know Halloween is coming, so look forward to it. That is your treat day. And what you can say, this is the push-off method, is when somebody says, hey, you want some of this, whatever, you say, no thanks, I'm good. I'm having it on the 31st. That's a plan. That is empowerment, and that's awesome, right? Like those are the words we can use around it. If we put our treats on October 31st and we're looking forward to those things, we're not mindlessly munching all of those things throughout the month. That's the goal here. It's not to deny, it's to really be wise about all this. All right, number 4. And if you missed the beginning of this, go back and look at the beginning because these are some great tips. But number 4, this is reminiscent of dinner and done, okay? So this is gonna ring through your mind. And actually, I think this is a good one that I wanna teach my kids. So bear with me. November 1 is Halloween and done, okay? If you're anything like me, I remember when I was a kid, I used to hoard my Halloween candy and come right around Easter, I would still have a stash. I'd hide it all throughout the house. And it would be the kind of thing that it was like an IV drip. There would be a little bit of candy here, a little bit of candy here, and I would nibble my way through the seasons until Easter came, and then we would get more candy. Y'all, the start of a new month, November 1st, is the start of a new goal. It's a fresh way to be thinking about how you want to love and care for your body. I know for me, the holidays in general can come with added stress. Just busyness and festivities and trying to decorate and prepare and maybe have company. So all of that requires that we think on an elevated level of thinking with regard to our health. Do we really need to be eating candy from October 31st to January 2nd? Probably not. So if you've done most of the To Be Mindset videos, you know the one about OOSOM, and it's OOSOOM, out of sight, out of mind. So think about it that way. If you do desire and want to keep candy in the house, maybe your kids have candy, here are some tips for that. Portion it out. You can portion it out. You can store it in an opaque, which means you can't see through it, container and store it far away from yourself. If it's something that you really are tempted by, put it in the freezer, right? Give it away. I know our dentist and most of the local dentists here in Atlanta do buybacks. So they'll pay you per pound. It's not a lot of money, but you could go to a bookstore and buy a book in exchange for something like that. An interesting story, Alana was sharing a story with some coaches, which I was like, wow, that's so impactful. She was serving in a food bank around in the month of November. This was a few years ago. And there was all of this candy in the food bank on the stock shelves, the pantry shelves. And so she asked them, and it was donated by a large retail pharmacy chain. So after Halloween, they'd given all this candy to the food bank. And I was like, oh, that's a really great idea. And I started to write that down to like, maybe that's something we could do. But then here's where it comes in. This is crazy. She asked the manager of the food bank, hey, how do you want me to organize the Halloween candy? Where should I move it, store it? You know, how does that work? And he said, we're actually going to move it all to the trash. And I thought, wow, that's very counterintuitive to me. And the manager said to her, these people come to the food bank because of the promise of better health and a better life. And we want to fulfill our obligation to that. I have chills thinking about it right now. I want to fill our obligation to that. It's better off in the trash than in their body because it doesn't create a better life for them. And these are people who can't afford another health issue. So whether that's sickness or diabetes or anything else that would tip the scale, they said it's not worth it. And so for you, you know what? It's better in the trash than in your body. It could be that for you. She also gave the the phrase, I love this, better in the waist than on your waist. So only you, back to the whole treat, not cheat, only you know what that temptation might be. Only you know what that trigger might be. But I can tell you this, if I had fun-size Reese's peanut butter cups in my house for more than a day, I would eat them all over the course of time. So that's just a great tip. November 1, Halloween and done. Okay, and the last tip, number 5. All right, this is it. Dinteo at all? Do I need this eating opportunity at all? Now, this is a really interesting one because as you know, on this journey, we've talked about this over and over. When you are in a group setting and you are making a different choice, maybe something that looks different from somebody else, and of course, Halloween's gonna feel a little bit different this year. But when you make that choice, not only does it empower you to make a solid decision for your future, but it also gives other people permission to perhaps do the same. So if you're consistent all month and you followed these 5 tips, you're not spooked, you knew Halloween was coming, you've planned on being a 2B bunny, you've got your plan in place, you've picked your treat, November 1, Halloween and done, and you do all of that all month and you're in that mindset, when you get to October 31st, you may decide, I don't really want a treat. I don't really want to splurge on this. I don't really want that particular thing that I thought I did. It doesn't really have the power or the zest, or maybe I'd rather on November 1st go out on a date night and go out with my husband and have my favorite tiramisu. That could be what you want to do. So all of that should be an empowering thing. So all that to say, Halloween's coming. I still love it. I still love the festivities and the fun and allowing my kids to do really cool, fun stuff and be with the neighbors. But we get to think differently. So I want you to comment below. Which one of those 5 tips stood out to you? Which one sounds like one that you might employ? And then, of course, I want to hear, what is your favorite Halloween candy? So comment below and we'll talk about it in the group.